Alrighty guys, I guess we'll start today with an update on the LSE36. As you can see, I got rid of the black wheels. I actually traded those for some Style 5. I wanted to flip the faces, but I ended up not liking the way they looked. I still need to get tires for them. Went and bought a spare because one of them had a bend. I've been cleaning up small things on the car, just basically getting little things wired up permanently and strapped down the way they should be. I did have a fuel line fail on me. So I'm waiting on that fuel line. It's been delayed for like 5 days now. I'm not sure what's going on there, but once I get that, we'll probably drive it how it is just to check it out. We put new coilovers on the front. We basically changed a lot of the suspension geometry, so I'm curious to see how she drives now. I did spark plugs, wires, just a full tune-up, oil change, just to make sure she's good. It's been sitting for a little while, but yeah, so that'll be coming soon, hopefully. And then I did actually get another project aside from the hard body. We got this old school K5 Blazer, and I'm gonna be taking the original motor that I had for the hard body and putting it in this. That was a 5.3 LS, and we're gonna probably just make this thing big, lift it, and just have a fun mud truck. Here's the LS, and basically I did originally build this to go in the hard body. We even had the motor mounts. It is a 2-wheel drive transmission, however it's an older TH400, so we're just going to convert that to a 4-wheel drive transfer case. Put all of the factory truck stuff on this motor: intake, power steering, water pump, the OEM truck computer. We'll buy a cheap eBay harness. We're going to buy some motor mounts, get this thing sitting in the K5, and then we'll probably go from there. Not giving up on this build yet. We pretty much finished bagging the rear end. Haven't touched the front. Been messing around with ideas on paint. The dash is a little bit better fitted. Steering wheel, bucket seat, just for reference of where I'm going to be at. And then we did get a new drivetrain for the hard body. So I guess I can go outside real quick and show you guys that. Here she is, covered in tons of bugs and spider webs. We have an Atlas 4200. This is the first generation plastic valve cover, smaller intake, but that's all right. We can always head swap it later if we want. We have a good transmission. This motor's only got like 90,000 miles on it. I do have the harness and the ECU. Pretty much everything to make this a runner in the hard body, other than mounts, but we're gonna just build off of the stock brackets here and build some custom frame mounts, get that in the hard body, throw some big turbo on it, and hopefully it makes some power. All right, we got the hard body outside, rolled out of the garage. I'm gonna try and just set this motor in for now so that we can fab up some mounts and tranny mount. Probably gonna have to cut this thing a couple spots. And yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and try and get that thing in. All right, so we got the engine in the air. I cut this little front core support. Now I know that this oil pan on here, being a front sump, that's a huge issue. If anything, we need a rear sump on this thing because it's gonna hit the steering and the sway bar. But we are just gonna get it sitting in here, and I think, because this is a pain in the ass to move around, I think we're just gonna line that up, get it up above that, and we're actually just gonna push the truck into the engine instead of put the engine into the truck. So we'll see how that goes. Gotta stop the truck from rolling a little bit, or maybe just lift on this. There we go. Bring the truck more. So we're past the mount. This thing's also about to tip over too, so I gotta be careful. There we go. More forward. Alright, we are slowly getting there. think I'm gonna have to jack it up a little bit more. Move the cherry picker over so the exhaust will squeeze in through there. Maybe actually, I'm gonna turn the wheel this way. All right, we got it to where it's kind of cleared. I'm gonna start walking it back a little bit more. It's pretty easy doing this on a hill, so I just let the truck roll down. All right, I'm gonna turn that more, bring it forward, and we'll get back to you when we get close. I do have the lower tranny cross member still in too, so that'll probably be a pain in my ass. So we'll probably end up just getting it in there as far as we can for now, setting it down, maybe ratchet strap it, whatever, call it good for now. All right, so we kind of got the motor slid back a little bit more. You can see there's a ton of room to go back still, and the stock cross member is still there. It's just barely going up above it. And if you come down here, I thought that oil pan was going to be an issue, but if you see, there's like a gap in between here, and I want to almost put it from there to there, down in that gap. I'll trim some of this metal out. That way we can run the stock oil pan, and we'll just send the mounts wherever they go, as long as that being back there, this front clears behind the headlights, will be sick. I'm pretty sure this whole bracket and tensioner is actually what's stopping me from going back. The transmission, I feel like, is actually gliding right over the cross member, so I'll go ahead and take this off. It looks like 1, 3, oh, and 1 down there, 4 bolts. We'll get that off of there, and then hopefully this thing will slide the rest of the way back. All right, let's see if I need to jack it back up. Let's see if it'll slide. It's definitely going in a lot further. All right, after doing a little bit of research, I did find there's one other person in the world who is doing the 4200 swap on a hard body, and they're a little further ahead than me. So they weren't able to utilize that stock oil pan, and they also put a cut in the firewall, and I think that's the actual move, so that we can get the motor back and clearing the hood. And then we could also put a radiator up front if we want to. These mounts here we can weld to that plate. We'll weld something in between to where we could bolt it, make it easy to remove still. And then that way we'll have the drop clearance. We'll just have to find or make an oil pan that's a rear sump and go from there. So I think that's going to be it for today. We'll probably roll this as a whole one unit into the shop, and then we'll pull that back out, get to cutting some shit. And then we'll also be working on the K5 and probably the LSE36 in the next one too.